Today, I would like to bring up the topic of expectations. Your expectations for this video is that you will learn something about how the Stoics and/or Taoist teachers view expectations. Or maybe at the very least, you will be entertained. Let's see if you were wrong. Starting on this YouTube journey, I had a ton of expectations. October 14th was the last day at my job. I put together an e-commerce website and expected that if I worked 6 to 8 hours a day on it, it couldn't possibly fail. Same could be said for YouTube. If I focused on a topic that interests me, how could I fail? Being someone who thinks constantly, I had no idea what content I wanted to create. So after putting out a couple of faceless videos about science, I decided to focus more on my growth and thoughts. I expected that after this change, I would be able to create content full-time and supplement with my website and voiceover work. I have 3 job interviews this week. I think that proves that my expectations were a little bit skewed. Expectations are key to understanding how we live our lives in harmony with the universe. In Stoic philosophy, the idea is to live life based on values such as self-control and justice. To live without a purpose is like what Seneca said. If one doesn't know which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Basically, he is saying that you need to expect that your destination is in the direction you are heading. Whether you realize it or not, you are doing this countless times during the day. As you are walking to the coffee shop to meet your friend, you expect that the coffee will be good, the place won't be too loud, and your friend will actually be there. What happens if your friend doesn't show? Is this going to ruin the entire trip? Will you feel as though nothing good came of the experience? Taoism encourages us to accept the natural flow of life without trying to control it. What is really in your control during that scenario? Are you micromanaging the barista while she is making your coffee? Just don't. Did you put out a citywide letter telling everyone, shh? Can you control whether your friend got a flat tire or slept through his alarm? The answer is no to all these questions. The only thing you can control is how you perceive them. Taoism has a definite solution to this. For those who practice not doing, everything will fall into place. That's from the Tao Te Ching, Chapter 3. This is not saying to do nothing, but rather to allow yourself to feel only what is needed. Acceptance and non-attachment are 2 powerful concepts that have been discussed in both Stoicism and Taoism. These philosophies emphasize the importance of accepting life as it is and not clinging to the things that can't be changed. They also teach us to be more mindful of our thoughts and emotions, so we can live in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. By embracing acceptance and non-attachment, we can achieve true inner peace and contentment. Yes, you could be upset with your friend, but why? Would this prove to them that you are firm on your beliefs of being on time? Or just say to your friend that you are unstable and only satisfied when you get your way? Learning to let go of our expectations and accepting what is can be difficult. It requires us to be mindful of our thoughts, feelings, and actions in order to free ourselves from the grip of expectations. By letting go of our need for things to be different than they are, we can find new peace and freedom from the burden of expectation. Through this process, we can discover a greater sense of joy, fulfillment, and contentment in life that comes from embracing reality as it is. There are some things that we can choose not to accept. I choose not to accept that my YouTube journey is over simply because I have to find a job. I choose to accept the fact that I still need to improve and need a lot of work. How can I choose what to accept and what not to? I do this by showing compassion to myself and others. Even if I didn't gain reassurance from the comments I receive, I understand how hard I have worked producing these videos. I've not placed a metric on how many hours I need to write and edit to produce 1 subscriber. Even if my friend decides to party the night before and misses our coffee meeting, that doesn't make him a bad friend. These scenarios make us human. And some sour news for you, humans make mistakes frequently. Practicing self-compassion is an essential skill for a healthy life. It can help us cope with different times and accept our mistakes and learn from them. Fortunately, there are many mindful practices that can be used to build self-compassion. Number 1, Avoid predictions. Even if you have some clairvoyant abilities, it doesn't mean you will ever be 100% correct. If you want to argue with me on this, you can prove me wrong by telling me when to sell my crypto. Number 2, take a deep breath. Realize how amazing it is that you were able to do that. When you exhale, blow out any expectations for the future. Realize that even the darkest clouds have a silver lining. If you haven't found it, you probably aren't looking hard enough. Number 3, go back to step 2 and realize that that could have been your last breath, but it wasn't. You get to live one more breath, then again and again until no more. It took 1,000,000,000 degrees of the butterfly effect to create this moment right now. Don't waste it being upset. Move on to the next breath, as someday it won't come. By incorporating these practices into our daily lives, we can become more resilient and compassionate. All I can express in any scenario is my own perspective. All I can do is make sure that my next breath is spent better than the previous. When you begin to curb your expectations, you will realize that this is all any of us can do. Maybe, just maybe, you'll begin to frickin' love it. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, consider liking. If you would like to see more, please subscribe. If you want to help out the channel, become a patron. If nothing else, be good to yourself and others. Thank you. Memento Mori.